What's up, my archfiends of chaos? It's your king and I, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, we're coming back at you with the frills. We'll come back at you with the analysis, not the frills. I can't remember what that is. I copy so many YouTubers, I don't even know what I'm copying. But anyways, I got a new haircut, as you see, when I made that stream. This video just came to me because, you know, I really didn't want to go back to make a video, but I just couldn't help to understand something that just kind of boggles my mind. Now, some people think I'm pushing and I'm going too far with this, but I have to make this theory because this makes sense. How come Cloud does not have the gains he has in Avid Children? In the remake, we saw the remodel of Cloud in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. Well, first of all, it's a remake of the original game, and in the original game, if you remember in the PlayStation 1 poster, Cloud didn't have really big arms at all. Matter of fact, they were just skinny with a tiny bit of muscle, you know, when we first saw him in the original game. And since this is a remake of the original game, he's not going to look like his Avid Children Cloud self. Now, like I said, there will be DLC possibly for the Avid Children Cloud look, but I'm pretty sure the cutscene's going to retain the original look that's in the game. But Demora said he wanted to keep Cloud Strife to his original self. So it's not just only character-wise, but he also wanted to keep the character looking like it does in the original with new graphics. And that's pretty much what this new version of Cloud is. He wasn't all big and buff, you know. And not only that, in Crisis Core, if you count that as canon, Cloud fell in the Mako pit and lost bits and pieces of his mind. Pretty much, Cloud was a vegetable when in half of Crisis Core until Zack died because the Mako poisoning that was induced when he was in those capsules being experimented on. After Genova cells have been put into him, he's been stuck in those capsules for so long, at least 2 years. It was confirmed 2 years him and Zack was stuck there, but you know, Zack was able to wake up immediately before, you know, a little bit before the 2 years is in there. You know, Cloud was unlucky, and because Cloud never had Genova cells before, he succumbed to Mako poisoning. So thus, you know, a year of not eating or working out, being in a vegetable state, will make you lose gains. You're not going to get gains if you just sit there all day, and when you're a vegetable, you can't do anything. Now, Cloud was able to get up, you know, later on, but that's not the point. The point is that Cloud Strife didn't have no way of working out or training, and he only started training again after Zack died, after picking up Zack's Buster Sword that Zack gives to him and his death, and then thus Cloud joins Avalanche and fights Shinra now. You know, he's still kind of sick from the Mako poisoning, so he's not going to have the gains he has. And he still, you know, he has to get his strength back, and that's pretty much what Final Fantasy VII, you know, part of the game does, is him getting his strength and his memories back. Pretty much, Final Fantasy VII is about Cloud, is partially about Cloud finding himself again. He lost himself at the end of Crisis Core, and in the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, it's all about him finding himself, and that's what part of the game is. Not just only his strength, but who he was, you know, who he really was. It was about, you know, that. And then not only that, a year of not training, not working out, not doing any kind of physical exercise, or half a year, or whatever, how long it was before Zack died, you know, will make your body much, when you're sicker, you get skinnier, and not the good kind of skinny. You know, that's why Cloud looked like he does in the remake trailer. because the remake trailer is inspired by the original game. And in the original game, Cloud wasn't all that muscular, you know? Not to mention, if you didn't play the original game, it makes sense why Cloud does not have the muscles he does like he did in his Avid Children look, in his Avid Children debut, is because it's because you know, he fell into he fell to some Mako poisoning for a long periods of time, not eating, not working out. Zack had to carry him everywhere before Zack died, and this is at the end of Crisis Core game, you know. Not to mention, Cloud was pretty young as well. Cloud was 16 when at least 16 or 17 when all that stuff went on. And 3 years passed, he joins Avalanche. I can't remember, no, he wasn't 16, he was 17. I think he was probably 19, I can't remember. But either way, he was young, he was sick, he can't move, which that will also affect your body as well. And even then, you're still going to get a sickly body right after because you've never been able to move for at least half a year. So thus, Cloud Strife's, you know, metaphysics are pretty much fucked up. So that's why he looks like he does in the remake. And then even if you didn't play Crisis Core, if you look at the original Final Fantasy VII, he did not have the gains he has in Avid Children. He only got the gains in Avid Children because he kept training even after Final Fantasy VII. Though he felt like giving up a little bit because he got sick again, but Cloud has been fighting Shinra, Sephiroth, and any extra enemies and extra bosses in the original Final Fantasy VII. And then if you count the years in between, at least one of the years in between Final Fantasy VII and Avid Children, that would actually make him physically stronger. Since, not to mention, he's carried that Buster Sword for the entire Final Fantasy VII game, so of course he'd get gains from carrying a big giant-ass sword, and that is a big giant-ass sword. I'm not going to even get into the weight of how much the sword is, because, I'm kind of bad at math, and I'm not going to lie, I really am. But, it weighs so much. It pretty much is a gym. It's pretty much a portable gym if you really think about it. So he's carried that all through Final Fantasy VII, and that's why he's got a little bit bigger over in Avid Children and Dirge of Cerberus. But then he got a little bit bigger, just a tad bit bigger in Dirge of Cerberus because it's after Avid Children, and Cloud helps Vincent fight some of this Deep Ground's elite soldiers. As you've seen, Cloud go up against Rose of the Crimson in Dirge of Cerberus. But the point is, the remake, whether you play Crisis Core or not, the reason why Cloud Strife does not have big muscles is because if you count Crisis Core as canon, Crisis Core, he was pretty much a vegetable. He was pretty much a vegetable a little bit. And until Zack died and Cloud picked up the sword, even after, you still get after effects from it, and that's why when you see the train scene, you see Cloud looking sickly. Then he does. And then not only that, Final Fantasy VII was inspired to make him find himself. It was pretty much a push for Cloud Strife to find himself again, because it was for him to find himself. And yes, mentally and spiritually, but also physically. And he did at the end of Final Fantasy VII. After he took out Sephiroth, he pretty much was able to forgive himself for what happened to Aeris. Because Sephiroth is the reason why Cloud's mind is messed up. Because, Sephiroth had something to do with Cloud's strength. A little bit. So you gotta give it to Sephiroth to actually help Cloud get stronger. Even though Sephiroth is an evil character. Sephiroth actually helped him gain some of those gains he has in Avid Children, because Sephiroth is the enemy that pushed Cloud so far that Cloud could only think about nothing but strength. And even in the middle of the game, after Aeris died, Cloud vowed to get revenge for Aeris. And that's why he even fought more enemies of Shinra. And then when we got to the final battle of Sephiroth, even though it doesn't show in the game because it's the same model as the PlayStation case, Cloud, if in the remake you'll probably see a little bit of muscles, because Cloud, is, you know, Cloud vows to get revenge for Aerith. So it was because Cloud's lust for revenge, he was able to obtain the body build he wasn't having children, and thus the reason why the remake don't have that, it's because it's the Final Fantasy VII remake. May the crystal be with you.